Hi, this is Mike Regan with Transact's 2-Minute Warning for the week of September 15th. And in this week's 2-Minute Warning, we're in the third part of our series on how companies can reduce their logistics and supply chain costs by as much as 10 to 15%. A couple of weeks ago, we launched a series on how companies can reduce their supply chain and logistics costs by as much as 10 to 15%. Last week, we had to take a little bit of a hiatus to make sure you had important information about tariffs and de minimis rules, and also make sure you were aware of a very important webcast that we're going to be hosting with our friends from the Knit League and CSCNP about tariffs and de minimis and how it impacts supply chains and things you can do. Now we're back to returning on how you can save 10 to 15% in your supply chain and logistics area. Very briefly, in part one, we talked about companies that want to produce these kind of savings think strategically and not tactically. If I'm thinking about it tactically, I want my suppliers to give me the lowest possible cost. But if I want to think things through strategically, I'm taking it to things that I can decide are not dependent on others to improve my practices and processes, lower cost, and improve profitability. So think strategically. Then last week, the week before rather, we talked about TMS and the kind of technology with the transportation management system. You can automate processes that are currently being done manually today, make better business decisions, and have a wealth of data that you can use to improve how you run your business. And that brings us to part 3 in our series, and that is companies who want to produce 10 to 15% savings are not shy about getting others who have the experience and expertise that simply doesn't exist within their own organization. For example, a couple months ago, I got a call from a newer customer, and they said, Transact is giving us much better data than we had with our other freight audit and payment provider, like light years better. What do we do with that data? And I said, well, there's a wealth of things that data will tell you. And he said, you have people that can work with us to show us the kind of best practices and processes that will lead to a better supply chain and lower cost. Folks, we have a great resource, Supply Chain Edge, our consulting group. We have a wealth of experience and expertise. For example, just recently, I applied that expertise and experience factor when a company called up and said, we're having some issues with tariffs. A big part of our success for our company is tied to how we manage it. And I asked him, Steve, what kind of expertise do you have internally? They have no one that really knows about tariffs, foreign trade, Incoterms, and a whole host of things. But we do, which is why when companies are serious about wanting to produce savings and accelerate those results and get them as quickly as possible, they're not shy about going to others that have the kind of experience and expertise they can use to get the best possible results. Transact is loaded with experience and expertise, so let's have a discussion about how we can apply that experience and expertise and get those 10 to 15% savings in your supply chain and logistics costs that are out there. It's real simple. Send me an email, give us a call, because with each and every 2-minute warning, we're here to remind you, on your team, here to help. Passionate about seeing you be successful. Thanks for your time.